Peace, y'all. You're tuned into the Edible Activist Podcast. I am your host and favorite go-to edible activist, Melissa L. Jones. On this show, we serve up empowering narratives and fresh perspectives straight from the voices of emerging Black people and people of color in agriculture and business. And in these candid conversations, we might sprinkle in a few choice words. They're the ones stewarding the land, healing communities, and championing food justice and economic empowerment across the country. Their contributions and stories sprouted from the earth truly embody the spirit of activism in their own unique, edible ways. So let's dig in and get started. Peace, everyone. I am Melissa L. Jones, host of the Edible Activist Podcast, and I have a very special guest and a new member to the Edible Activist family, y'all. I'm super excited to have Brandon Starks, who is the founder of the People's Market, which is a farm-to-door experience. They are a subscription-based food delivery service that services local farms in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Brandon seeks to create more opportunities for Black farmers, y'all, Black farmers and other historically underrepresented groups to grow their businesses and recirculate dollars back into the local communities. I love that. I love that. Welcome, Brandon.
Yo, thank you for having me.
This is about to be so dope.
Thank you for having me. I've been waiting for this. I've been patiently waiting to get on, in the space and the ambiance is just
I'm
next
honored.
Level.
I'm honored. I am so honored. I am so honored. So I think I need to kick the conversation off by letting folks know that I am a customer of the People's Market. So
let's start there.
There's no reason for us to wait, as we get through the conversation, but I'm a customer of the People's Market. And I have just been blessed by you all's service and delivery. And, we're about all things Black farmers here, Black farmers, food justice, we're all about it. And so I know that what you have built, and which we'll get into in just a moment, has not been an easy feat. But I just want to kick off the conversation by saying that I salute entrepreneurs and creatives in this space, because it is a lot. It's a lot of hard work, and your mission is more than just food service delivery. You are hitting a lot of area issues with your business. And so I'm super excited to dig into that literally. All right, y'all, dig into that soil. But we're going to kick things off because I'm all about a good origin story. And so I really want to know, what was that aha moment that said, you know what, I need to start the People's Market? And I know it's a lot of things, but what was that one defining moment that was like, you know what, we got to do this?
First, again, thank you for having me on, to be able to tell my story, to have this platform to talk to your listeners is a blessing. And I appreciate all the love and energy that you've been sending me since we met, honestly. Really, I was just trying to feed my family some good food. I'm just going to keep it real. I've been married. I'll be married for 12 years.
Congrats. Shout
October,
out to wife.
Next month. Actually, next week.
Ooh, don't get me.
Shout out to wifey.
Shout out to your beautiful wife.
Yeah. And I have a 4-year-old son. And we live in a neighborhood that is very Black and brown. We live in Silver Spring. We don't live in downtown Silver Spring, so we don't have access to the Whole Foods and in the farmers markets or anything like that. We really live in a neighborhood where food access isn't necessarily an issue. We have grocery stores, but when you start to drill down a little bit, you're like, what about the quality of those grocery stores, right? And I wanted to solve a problem for my family. I couldn't figure out how to get organic or natural food in my neighborhood. And I want to know who else was dealing with that challenge. And I've been blessed to work for Black folks most of my career. I worked for a mayor in DC, Mayor Vincent Gray, and I was his Ward 4. I was right in your ward. I was his Ward 4 community liaison.
Wow.
And I listened to the residents about their problems. And I lived in Ward 4, right? In a Brightwood neighborhood. That was like my first apartment. And now I still got a day job. I work for the county executive in Prince George's County. And this is my second county executive. I worked in a program called the Transform a Neighborhood Initiative. And the program was all about serving folks in the inner Beltway community. So when you think inner Beltway communities, think Capitol Heights, Suitland, right? These are the neighborhoods that touch the city, right? And I was trying to solve problems for them too. And in both situations, access to healthy and good food was always the first thing that people wanted. That's what all the residents wanted. Young, old, you know what I'm saying? Anybody all walks of life, right? Yeah. Folks wanted access to healthy, good food. And for some reason, those folks just never came to save them, right? So for me, I'm in the same situation. I grew up in Prince George's County. You know what I'm saying? I felt that energy before. And now I bought my first house and I'm in a neighborhood and I'm like, all right, now I'm dealt with the same issue with my family. Like this is a 360 moment right now, right? So I was like, let me talk to people and maybe I can build a solution, right? And that's really how the People's Market was kind of created. Like it was the pandemic. I had time. I had a lot of time, right? We had time. You feel me? I was doing all types of things on the computer, researching, scrubbing data, looking at figures, looking at different things, creating models to see which types of neighborhoods look like mine and how far the organic and fresh food stores or the farmers markets from these communities, how far do they have to drive to get to these places? Yeah. Right? And then I'm looking at how much money do these people make? And these folks make money. There's some neighborhoods in Prince George's County where these black folks make good money, but still don't have access to a high-end premium grocery. And I'm like, I can wait around and protest, right? And I don't do that too well. I'm stubborn. I'm like, I don't want to protest. I want to create something. So that's really how the People's Market was created and developed, really just from my own story and talking to people like me. Yeah. And now we're at 100+ doors, right? 2 years later. 2 years. Well, I say 2 years in. We're at 100+
insert doors. The claps and the confetti at this point. All right. Yes. I love that. So I'm hearing the People's Market, and what I'm hearing and also envisioning was, you were out there collecting data, but like real time, knocking on doors, having conversations with folks, at the same time, doing some, research and looking to other data points, but like talking to people, yes. I know was super important to like have that dialogue and see what people's experiences were and are and what do they need, and what are their challenges. So I think that's super important because it's so easy to go past, when people say, oh, we collected data, but did you talk to people? Like, did you actually trust me, I'm all about data. And, people say numbers don't lie.
It depends on who's analyzing those numbers, what their view is.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. But getting out there and talking to people is just super important. And so I appreciate the fact that you did that, because you wanted to hear from the folks. So, and we, I know that we talked about this on the show, often when we hear, we like to use the word like food apartheid, right? Like something that's systemic, and we look to more like inner city neighborhoods or neighborhoods that, are like right, like outside of the city and, not, the economic, levels aren't like super high, right? We're looking to those areas that do not have access to the premium grocery stores. There are very well off neighborhoods that do not have access. And I'm not saying that, yes, they do have privileges. Absolutely. We're not denying that. Yeah. But the reality is that there are communities further out in Prince George's County, lovely neighborhoods that do not have access. And some people don't think about that, and like, yes, we're very much centered on like justice, but there are those neighborhoods that don't have access to those premier grocery stores, like you said before. So I just want to notate that. And so growing up in, is it Bowie? Did you say
grew up in
Bowie?
Bowie, yep.
Shout
I
out
grew up
Bowie.
in Bowie.
Shout out Prince George's
What up,
County.
Bowie?
Like Bowie, stand up,
What up,
right?
South Bowie?
That's a South Bowie.
It's a difference. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about
please,
this.
let's talk about it.
We got to talk about this. There's a history.
Oh,
there's a lot of history.
Feed me.
I'm
Feed
about
me.
to.
Okay, well, let's talk about Bowie. Let's talk about your childhood growing up in Prince George's County in Bowie, and like do you recall any memories, like in terms of like connections that you had to food and agriculture growing up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Like my I mean, when you asked me the question, what was that like defining moment? I think trying to solve a problem for my family was the defining business moment. I think like the defining sort of inspiration. My great grandmother, who grew up in Mitchellville, she was.
Oh, you a native for real?
I'm a native. I can go back like 6 generations.
I love talking to Prince
county.
George's County natives. I love it.
My family been around for a while. Like if you know any Brooks, if you know, my family is Holly, Brooks, Fletcher. You know what I'm saying?
We got to get Brittany Drakeford in this room. Shout out to Brittany, who's like a walking encyclopedia, Prince George's County native, can trace her roots back to like 6 or 7 generations. I got to get y'all in the same room. But
we should. No, we should.
Seriously.
Her and I definitely need to be in the same spaces.
Absolutely.
So I can trace back, and my great grandmother, her parents were sharecroppers. So she explained to me her relationship with the soil, her relationship with the food, her relationship with doing simple things. Like she was like, you ever heard of snowbirds? I was like, Grandma, what's a snowbird? She was like, we used to eat these birds, baby. Like we used to trap them, and that was dinner. Like I was like, wow. So like she really was raised on the land, and it stuck with her. So my grandmother, as she aged, she was at an independent living facility in Seat Pleasant called St. Paul's.
Never heard.
I mean, you've probably seen it before. You just didn't know you was looking at it, right?
Seat Pleasant, there's some places in Prince George's County where you see the name, or you on 495, but I don't think I've actually seen the city. Mitchellville is one of those. Seat Pleasant is one of those. I know it's another one. I know they exist. Plenty of them. I ain't never seen them,
There's
but
plenty of them. There's plenty of them. So like she lived over there, and after church on Sundays, me and my mom will go over and have like an after church lunch with her.
Oh, I love that.
And as she was cooking, she always had to cook us something, even into her old age. Like she always had to cook us something. She was cooking, and as she was cooking, she was educating us about the food, right? She was educating us about how food used to be. She was like, these collards and this kale, it's not as nutrient dense as it used to be, because when I was on the farm, we used to harvest it and we would eat it that day, right? So she educated me about the importance of local food, even though now it's like a movement. Like I got shirts that say like eat local and stuff on it. My grandmother was already on that. It just wasn't a slogan yet. You feel me? So she taught me that, and she also just taught me just about, nutrition. She had and I was corrected by my uncle, she had a 6th grade education, worked in the Prince George's County school system as a janitor, but taught herself how to eat healthy through nutrition books. So she used to read these nutrition books. I have a bunch of them in my basement right now, which is, it's wow. It's, whoo,
That's magical.
It's like, but she taught herself how to take care of herself. And I kind of, my mother told me this story. This is like secondhand knowledge. And my mom's also like, an amazing, amazing woman who I feel like just took great care of me and just kept me moving. You know what I'm saying? Like as a young Black, kid in sometimes a community that wasn't as forgiving And Bowie's not the hood, but it was very white when I lived there. So like that's what I mean by not very forgiving, right? In
I got
certain
you.
situations. My mother always just gave me the type of love and nurturing I needed. I'll get back to my grandma. So she learned about nutrition. She learned what you should be eating to aid and deal with certain issues and challenges like the blood pressure and, you know, how to like eat certain foods so that you can prevent cancer.
Yes.
Right? How
Yes.
you can eat certain things to make sure that, you know, you're just preserving yourself. She lived to be 98. And I literally saw her in the hospital one time my entire life.
That is the ultimate blessing.
Yeah. It's
The
amazing.
memories that you have. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
like,
it's amazing. It's amazing. She lived to be 98.
Ooh, I love that.
And for her to pass naturally and peacefully is something that I want for myself.
In her right mind.
In her right mind.
Yes.
I want for my mother. I want for, you know, my family. So, and I also just want for our people, right? So like, let me just like wrap that up, right? So like the love that was given to me, the thing that I'm delivering is that same love that I'm trying to give to our folks, right? Because I was nurtured. I was given the good stuff. People spoke life into me. So like this food that's my gift, right? Like that's what the farmers do the work. They hand it off to me and I make sure that it's accessible, right? I'm that last mile person. I'm gonna make sure it gets to your door and it's so easy. It's so simple. Now all you gotta do is follow some recipes I sent you or look up some recipes.
I be looking at them videos. I be like, I might put my own little twist on it. I have appreciation for those recipes, okay? Might not do it in a linear way, like the way that this video presents, but I'm gonna put my own twist on it. I'm telling you, I gotta tell you how I did my little blackberry crumble thing when you and Juju got together.
There you go.
I love that. So thank you for making that connection. And it's so deep because it's food, but it's more than food. And what you're delivering is what you nurtured, you know, coming up. It is the memories. It's seeing grandma in her right mind. It's, you know, holding on to those memories of like being in the same space with her great-grandmother.
My great-grandmother.
Great-grandmother,
my
right?
great-grandmother.
Which is, how many people get to have that experience with their great-grandmother? Like, not many at all, you know? So, I mean, I was like 4 or 5 when my great-grandmother like passed. And so I'm just grateful that I could just remember what she looked like. But I like that. Like what you deliver is that. Yes, it is the product, but it's more than just the carrot. It's more than just the blackberry. It is all of these memories and your values and what you've held on to since you were younger and what you learned. It's more than that. So, and that to me is feeding people, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome. All right. So we're going to get, dig into the mission, you know, a bit more behind your business. And so your mission is to create more opportunities for Black farmers and historically underrepresented groups. And so definitely want you to tell us more about some of the challenges that Black farmers face. You know, we talk about this all the time on the show, but for those who might just be listening for the first time, you know, who are, you know, new to learning more about your model and what it is that you're looking to address. I mean, just want us to dive more into like this industry and like how you are really supporting like these, you know, local Black farmers, purveyors, you know, businesses, you know, through your mission. So.
And it's an equal exchange. I'll just say that before I start to talk about any of the challenges the farmers deal with, because I have challenges too as a Black business owner.
Facts.
So it's not like, you know, I'm swooping in to save nobody. Like it's equal. You know, it's a fair exchange.
I hear you.
Because without them, I wouldn't have a business model because I don't grow food. I don't farm, right? Like, and I'm very conscious of that. And I respect that, you know, and I'm gentle with that. So, you know, for anybody who doesn't know, you know, farmers, the last statistic that I saw was like farmers make up less than 1.5% of all Black farmers make up less than 1.5% of all farmers in the U.S. You know, 1920s and before the 1920s, right? That number was much higher, right? Like it was beneficial for Black farmers to be on the land, owning land, growing food, harvesting, getting it out to the market, right? And some things happened, right? Like folks stole land from them. They weren't, they weren't given access to capital to be able to purchase the seeds and, purchase the equipment and do those things. And that was done intentionally. Because when people can't stop you because you just have it in your spirit to work hard and work smart and be efficient, they have to do trickery in order to get you off of your square. So, I just think that still exists today. Like Black farmers are still owed a great amount of money, right? And I think one of the challenges is that because of that historical context, I think a lot of Black farmers do not engage with the USDA, right? I think, because the USDA is organized the way it is as like a county-based system, and it's very localized, people know each other, people are close to one another. And if there's somebody at that local USDA office who's handing out that money, those grants, those loans, unfortunately it gets personal and they hand them out to their friends.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, most of those folks do not look like us or represent us. And even if folks look like us, sometimes it's difficult for them politically to be able to serve us the way that they should, right? Because of the backlash,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Or blacklight, however you want to frame it, right? Like, so that there are several challenges, but I think, right? Just like we've always done, we find solutions, we figure out ways to work around systems. The thing that I tell myself way too often is that nobody's coming to save me. Nobody's coming to save my community. We should definitely take full advantage of the loans, the grant programs, right? We should take full advantage of getting access to that capital. But at the same time, we can't let it stop us from moving. And I work with a group of farmers, especially my Black farmers, who stop at nothing. They just go.
They
figure it out. They keep moving and they're growing. Many of the farmers that I'm working with, me talking to them last year is like, I'm growing on 10 acres. I'm on 15 acres now. Like I'm growing. What you need, Brandon? What you need me to grow for you? And I'm like, whew, now we talking. Let's get busy. Let me find some more markets for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's work together. Let me move your stuff. So for me, there's, within our community, there's always deficits.
Yeah.
But it's something about us where we just continue to figure out how to be solution based.
Always.
Solution focused. We ain't got nothing, but we making something. We
By
making
nature,
something shake.
by
right?
nature, that's
By
just who we
nature.
are. We've always had to
Exactly.
figure something out,
Yep.
make something out of literally nothing.
Yep.
It can't get no more solution based than that.
Absolutely.
So that's what's up. Let's talk about process. Let's
Yeah.
talk about,
my
the
favorite
people's
part.
market. Yes.
my favorite part.
So for all of my logistical geeks out here, I'm a logistical geek. I am. And I'm all about process. But day to day, right? Like you have this business model. And I think, and let me know if you're intentional about this. I don't see the word, or I haven't, I don't recall seeing the word CSA associated with the people's
That's very
market.
intentional.
Boom. All right. So that's that.
yeah, it's
Let's
intentional.
harp on that for a
You wanna
moment.
talk about that?
Yeah, let's do. And so for folks, if you're new to this conversation, new to this space, a CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture, where you can pretty much, it's like a subscription based type model, but like you can opt into like buying a box of produce, either weekly, bi-weekly, half a year, full year. Some people operate maybe slightly different. And I've opted into that model previously, and it's a wonderful model. It's a wonderful way to get super hyper local produce, from farmers who, for me, it's important that I trust their practices. And it's not just isolated to produce, there are flowers, there's honey, so, but I'm thinking, I was just like, I don't think I've seen the word CSA, and that's been intentional. So
yeah, it's super intentional. I think, one of the biggest sort of pillars of this company is to be accessible, super, super accessible. I did not know what CSA was, 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm assuming there are a lot of people who don't, right? But
yeah, when I say a CSA, I literally have to tell people what it is. And that's okay. Like, there's a lot of stuff I don't know, but a lot of people don't know what a CSA is. So,
and the term subscription has been in the ether for a long time, right? Like people have been saying that word for a long time. And I think it connects also with the CSA. Most often a CSA requires someone to pay up front. There's like an upfront sort of bulk fee. So like,
you're right.
Let's say, I'll give you an example, for the listeners who aren't familiar with the CSA process. Let's say, you want to buy a fall CSA, right? And it's going to give you 6 or 7 weeks of produce. Instead of paying every week, you would pay maybe $300 to $500 up front so that farmer can purchase the seed, they can purchase the equipment, they can purchase what they need. I'm saying that also to say that, like, I do think that people should not move away from the CSA because we actually need people to support CSA programs.
Absolutely, yes.
But I also know that there are some folks who can't front that money, right?
Another fact.
Or
yeah.
it just doesn't make sense for them, right? Like they need more information. So for us, the subscription model is like any other subscription model, right? Like you pay, you get a product and a service. And if you don't like that product and service any longer, you can just cancel, right? And you don't have to pay for, another week of service, right? And or you can pause, like you want to go on vacation. It's the summertime. I have customers who tell me, I'm going to be out and I'm going to be moving around a lot, this summer.
That is me. That is I. I had to pause.
We're going to come back to you though. Coming back. After you get situated, we're going to be back. I can't wait to drop that food at your door.
And there will be an actual place for you to drop it if I'm not there. It won't be the Brendan. Can you come at like 8 o'clock in the morning? Because I got to be out at like 10.
Service is what we do.
Listen, I'm so grateful.
But yes, that's what's up. That you got somebody at the front door. You got a bellhop up there.
Yep,
gonna
got
take
a
care of me.
whole room. You can just drop it off in the refrigerator and keep it moving.
Love it. So giving people the option for flexibility, I think is really, really important, especially in the time that we're in right now. The market is crazy. Like people don't know what's going to happen. And I just want to give people the option to be flexible.
Yeah.
So, you pay for what you get. And if it's not working for you, you can choose to separate from that subscription, right? Like a Netflix or like any other
every
digital
3 months,
service.
I dump stars and they're like, please stay for $2.99. I'm like, sure. But yeah, I keep breaking this down. Y'all, I got to insert a little bit of humor.
Stay for $2.99.
I thank you for breaking it down this way. I think it's a really great, like verbal, diagram. So
yeah. So, that's why we chose to go that route. Is because I not only wanted to give people a great product, I also wanted to give them flexibility.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate that. We do. Let's talk process. What's day to day? How do we inspect the food? How do we go about, selecting the farmers? What do those agreements look like? Like, what is a day to day?
I'm going to tell you, like, our processes are very disciplined and structured. But as far as like contracts and stuff, like we don't have contracts, right? Really starting out with like onboarding farmers. Let's just start there, right?
Okay.
I go out to the farm and I meet with that farmer and I want to know what their process is. Like, I want to know how they grow food. Are you organic? Are you conventional? Like, are you natural? Are you growing naturally? Meaning you don't use any pesticide, any fertilizer, right? And then also that relationship. Like, I want to be able to have communication. I want to be able to problem solve with you. I need you to be available because there's going to be things that happen. Like food is a natural resource. Like it floods, it's hot. You know what I'm saying? It's cold. Like things happen and things move and they happen quickly,
Very.
right? And I need somebody who I can talk to so that I can properly pivot for that customer. So like having that relationship is key because I have to provide, I want to provide top of line service. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, after I meet and sort of vet a farmer, we purchase. Like every week I'll probably put in our weekly orders. Like on Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll like text the farmers and be like, hey, what you got this week? You know, they sending me pictures, they're sending me a link to like a availability sheet, all of that. And I'm just like rotating crops based on what they have, right? So like if you had kale last week, I'm probably gonna give you some lettuce this week. You know what I'm saying? If you got lettuce next week, the week after, I'm gonna give you some arugula because I want you to, you know, benefit from that rotation. I want you to try different things.
Which is that I learned is very important, actually, from my acupuncturist.
Okay.
Like, because, you know, I'll eat the same stuff over and over again. If you want to give me kale every week, Brandon, I'm going to eat kale. But it's important to diversify, like, the nutrients and, like, mixing different, you know, leafy greens and types up. So I'm glad you said that because it is important.
Okay.
I'm not the nutritionist or the medical person, but I'm just telling y'all what somebody told me. So
And
who
that's
I
good
trust.
information. I trust it. I trust it. So like, and I rotate just so like people can stay engaged, right? Like I want you to stay
And
engaged
it's fun.
and have fun. Like just have fun with your food.
It's like unwrapping a gift. Like when I get it, mine are bi-weekly. I'm just like, what do I get today? I get so excited when I get those emails. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at it. Okay, proceed.
I love it. No, I love it. No, this is real time customer feedback, y'all. So like, I appreciate this. You know, after we put the menu together, some farmers I pick up from, some farmers will deliver to us. I share warehousing space in Hyattsville with a couple other food hub organizations. And we got cold storage in there and we got dry storage in there and all of that. So Friday is normally when I like receive the food. Saturday is a packing day. So like literally, you know, it's me in there. My wife Shaka, she most often will be in there with me because she's like my.
Thank you.
She's like honestly. So my wife, when we first started, I like started out of the house. Like you know what I'm saying. Like I bought a like big fridge. You know what I'm saying, in the basement. Like we was really like. We was grassroots
This
with
is
it.
it,
You
right?
feel me? We was grassroots with it. So you know, Shaka was like, and you know how us guys are sometimes. Like I get in my head. Like you know, I won't speak for all men. I won't speak for the gender. But I'll just say like we get in our head sometime, and it's always helpful to have somebody like watch you. So she used to watch me, and she'd be like, I feel like it'd be more efficient if you did it like this.
That's what we do.
That's what y'all do.
That's what we do.
To all the men out there who want to be successful,
Say it, Brandon.
find you a good one.
I'm
My wife
telling
Shaka
you.
is like really my saving grace because
I love that.
she sees me doing something wrong, and she like, let me show you how to do this more efficiently, right? So she helped me to like create the essentially like the fulfillment process, right?
That's big.
It's huge.
That's huge.
Because you want to make sure, right? We have a menu. Normally we have 6 to 8 items. And you want everyone to get their share, right?
Yeah.
You want everyone to get, you don't want to miss someone's, cucumber.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss someone's carrots.
Because I'm looking for my stuff.
Or tomatoes.
I'm looking for my
Because you
stuff.
get the menu.
Yeah, I
and then
get
you're
the
like,
menu, and
I
I'm
was
like,
expecting eggplant and tomatoes in here, but
oh, and if I don't get my eggplant and tomatoes, it's on because those are two favorite things. But yes.
And then I gotta go out of my way to drive one little tomato and a couple little eggplants, to your house. So that's eating up my time and money, right? So my wife helped me create that process.
That's dope.
So we fulfill all of the bags with a process. Like there is a bagging process. Like certain items will be on the bottom of the bag, certain items go more on the top, right? Like, or like, for example, right, to really get nerdy on y'all, right? Like if I have greens, that's the last thing I'm gonna put in the bag. And 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna pull my bags into the cooler first, and then put the greens in there, because I don't want the greens to brown or anything to happen. So like I want them to be perfect when they get to your doorstep. So I want to keep them in that chilled environment, so they're premium, so they're fresh.
And it's noticed, because when I get my bag, they are perky, fresh. They haven't been like smushed. You're pretty strategic at how you place it in the bag.
Gotta be strategic. So yeah, we fulfill the bags, and then we use some software that essentially optimizes the route for our drivers.
Come on, tech. Come on.
So we have some software that we use. Once we put all our addresses in for that week, it tells me, all right, this is stop 1 through 20 for this driver. This is stop 1 through 15 for this driver.
I'm learning. I had no idea.
Everything in that order. It has to go in that order. And we label those bags so that, because all the bags aren't the same. Like, even though we customize the box and it's curated, there's eggs.
Yeah, exactly.
There's jam. There's flowers. There's soap. Right? There's lotion. There's these things that we're stuffing in those bags that a customer's saying, all right, I got my half box, but I also want to get this add-on item.
Right.
So I got to make sure that item gets to the customer, because they paid their hard-earned money on that. And I want to make sure that I'm, everything is on point to obviously to the best of my ability. Right. So we label the bags, we put them in order. So all the driver has to do is grab the first bag on their first stop.
Wow.
And then on their second stop, they grab the second bag. Like, they don't have to think.
Yeah.
We take the thinking out of it, because we want to make sure, again, top of line service, quality for our customers. So we spend a lot of time making sure that things are done on the front end, so that on the back end, you get a positive result.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I thank you for that. I love, actually, because I'm a little geek too. So I just like that we're talking about using, tech systems to like optimize like your workflow, essentially, your process, essentially, which is, we don't talk a lot about, because, in here it's more so like boots to the ground. But when we're building a business, like those pieces are like very pivotal. Y'all, I am damn making up pivotable. The hell time is
we know what you meant.
7:32. With a B. Y'all know what I meant. That's really important to support, your operation. And I encourage more tech, and I used to, and I have to, I know we're both going to do this. Shout out Gail. Shout the GOAT.
The GOAT.
She don't like to hear it, but you are the GOAT.
Gail the GOAT.
Gail the
GOAT.
Harmony. 3-part harmony. Like, who I used to get my CSA from. And I know I've had a couple conversations with her around delivery, and she said that's just not our model. And like, delivery is a whole nother model. It's a whole model. It's a whole beast.
It's different. And like, I think, number one, the person, Gail, Farmer Gail, that she talking about, she don't really go by Farmer Gail. I ought to say Gail, right? Gail just go by Gail. The
people's farmer, Gail.
Gail just go by Gail, right? But we know what's up. Gail out here doing her thing. She running things. So like, I think, she has her model, and there are people who appreciate that model. You know what I'm saying? And I actually encourage more people to go directly to their farmer, right?
Absolutely.
Please go directly to your farmer, because there's no competition here, right? Like, I see Gail every week, you know what I'm saying, pick up the food and compliment her on the beautiful bounty that she gives me, that I get to put in my customer's bag. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a beautiful ecosystem, because we really all eat. Because Gail really brought you to me.
She did. And I said, and I had to say, Brandon, I said, Gail, I said, now I'm not walking away from you. I need, like, as long as I know I'm still supporting you, that's the only way I'm going over there, because I'm loyal. And so I appreciate her doing that. And I
Yeah.
was just so excited about the collaboration. I was just like, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's next level. It's next level. And I'll just say in the ag community, for anybody who doesn't know, especially I'll just speak to the DMV area. It's nothing but love. It's nothing but love. Like, this is one of the first places that I've worked. I worked in politics. I worked in corporate. I worked in nonprofit. You feel what I'm saying? I've never been in a space where people are so loving, giving. They don't hold back information. Like, they're always willing
Yeah.
to just be like, what you need. And I'll be like, sometimes, like when I first got into this game, I had to ask some farmers, I'm like, are these people playing with me?
Wow.
Like, is this real? And they was like, nah, this is really real. Like, we all know each other. We all show love to each other. We all work together. And that's real. So
Yeah.
if anybody's looking for a model, I know there's like all these like corporations and stuff that are always trying to figure out like, how do we get our team together? And how do we, you know what I'm saying, do like more like inclusivity and all this other stuff. Just come and just like sit with some farmers, some black farmers specifically, and see how this works. Cause for real,
Facts.
the humility, you know what I'm saying? The exchange, the education, the love. I've never seen nothing like it in my life. And like, I don't think everyone can duplicate it because you got to be coming from a certain place to do that
Absolutely.
anyway.
Absolutely.
But if folks want to get a little sense of it so they can include maybe like little trinkets and pieces into their business
little dust.
model, you know, let's sprinkle a little dust in here, show y'all a little bit of love, you know. Seriously, spend some time around some black farmers. Because all the ones that I know are amazing
I felt
and have
that.
taught me most of what I know. Like the things that I'm talking to you about, they've either given me like a little piece of it, and then I'm going down a rabbit hole, or they spending their time. They spending their time at their feet, and we spending hours together. And they're like, this is how this works.
Yeah.
And this is how that works. You know what I'm saying? And that's special. That's special.
That is so special. I felt that. And I have bitten, and someone who's, y'all know, I don't farm. I can barely grow a tomato, but I'll talk to y'all all day and I'll buy your stuff, okay?
This is your gift, though.
This is my
your
gift. This is my gift.
This is your
but
gift.
I have been in those spaces where I've had the opportunity countless times, and even more recently over the summer. Shout out to Fulani being able to share space with her and go out to
What
where
up,
she
Fulani?
grows and just sit with farmers like all day and see how they collaborate with one another. If someone needs advice on, on something that they're doing on their plot of land, like just to see that collaboration is just like out of this world, and there's nothing but love, nothing but love. So that's awesome. So when you first started out, was it primarily just produce? Because I think more recently you started doing the add-ons like the jam and the eggs, and even though eggs produce, but flowers. Is that like a most recent addition, or is that something that you guys had always been doing?
We've always had add-ons. But
Okay.
You know, last season we only had eggs and flowers.
Okay.
Because it was just easy for me to get those. So yeah, eggs and flowers we started out with last year with the add-ons, and this year I got connected to some folks. Root Down Cleansing. They actually
Where?
Root Down Cleansing.
Where is that at?
They're at UFI with Fulani.
Oh, I'm like, huh? Okay, that's
Yeah.
okay. All right,
So they're
cool.
they're a woman-owned company.
Okay.
And
I met them.
they do amazing work. Yeah. So their soaps and they got bug spray
Okay.
and all of that. So like I tried their products and I was like, this is amazing. How can we work something out? So, you know, we wholesale from them and sell to our customers. And then the strawberry jam, there was a farmer who is in Virginia who I connected with. It's like one of the first farmers I connected with, Botanical Bites and Provisions. And yeah, they're like in why am I drawing a blank? Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Okay.
And I was making that trek on Saturday mornings. That was kind of wild. But she it's a couple, man. They just have beautiful energy. Like,
That's-
and they were like, yo, let me connect you with the other people in my network. So Browntown Farms is who we get the jam from, and I was connected by that family, Botanical Bites and Provisions folks. So just getting connected and trying people's products and being like, yeah, this will fit. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I got like a little taste test group. And I send it to my
That's what's
mama's
up.
house. I
Right.
send it, I let my son try it, let my wife try it. Friend come over.
You have to do
I give
that.
him a drink, and then I'm like, yo, try this jam real quick.
Yep.
Tell me what you think about that.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
important.
Test it out on people, get their feedback. And if it's good, we want it. You know what I'm saying? And we want to put it out into the market for our customers so they can try it. And in addition, those folks are Black owned businesses. Like,
Yes.
again, like we are the people's market. Like, I don't want that to go over anybody's head. Like, we're creating a marketplace for us. That is it.
Yep. That's
This
it.
is a marketplace for us.
Yeah.
So if you have product and it fits within our mission and it's a great product, I'm your guy. Let's get busy.
You heard it from Brandon. What's next? If not what's next, where do you like envision this like in the next? Sometimes I ask questions and I'm like, ooh, I can't even answer. But I'm gonna ask it.
Just ask the question.
Look, I don't want to sound
this family.
5 years from now, but like, we're visionaries, and I know you're a visionary. Like, this was a vision that you all had. It was a small seed and it's grown.
Yeah.
Ultimately, like, where do you really see like this heading in like the next like 5 to 10 years? Like, what is that ultimate dream?
I think, I said this out loud when I first started. My first week, I think I had 3 customers. And when we got to maybe like 10 or 15 customers, my mom started helping me drive. That was like, I tell that story because people like, yo, mama? I'm like, my mom is young and nimble. Like, she don't, you know what I'm saying? She's serious. She don't look like she my mom. You know what I mean? And even at that moment, when we were only doing like 10 or 15 deliveries, I was like, I see a bigger vision. I really see other cities and other sort of areas like the DMV servicing them. So I'm looking at a footprint like Atlanta,
Okay.
the Atlanta suburbs. I look at a place like Houston. I look at a place like LA. I look at, really Black metropolitan areas where access to premium food is a challenge. And they have farmers. That's the other part. Like, if you in Atlanta, it's somebody growing a lot of stuff right outside of that city.
Yep.
If you're in Houston, it's the same thing, right? If you're in LA year round, it's the same thing, right? So the vision has always been to serve our people, our communities. And, in 5 years, I want to be in at least 2 or 3 of those cities. You feel me? Like, and those cities might change based on me putting my feet on their soil, talking to people, trying to figure out what their problem is, because I feel like everybody's problem is different. And I'm in the business of solving problems. Like, I'm not really just in the business of food. It's like I'm in the business of solving people's problems around food, right? So, if in LA the issue is something else, it's related to food, then, set up shop there and figure out how to solve that problem to get people what they need and what they want out in LA. So, but I think, so solving the problem is serving my people, Black people, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, anybody else from other cultures who wants to benefit from the things that we have, I'm willing to serve them because I got love for our cousins too. Like, everybody deserves the best, right? So really, that's the vision. I said we're at 100+ doors. Like, to be at 1,500, 2,000 doors, 3,000 doors and growing would be beautiful. You know what I'm saying? To be able to feed families and, again, give them that love and that nourishment that I got, you know what I'm saying? And then also, like, with the emails, like, we're educating people about the food. I'm learning as I go. You know what I'm saying? I'm on Google too, learning just like anybody else. You feel me? And I'm like, yo, like, man, I didn't know all these things help with inflammation. I didn't know these things will, like, maybe prevent me, from getting cancer at a later stage in my life. You know what I'm saying? So really also making sure that we're feeding people information and knowledge and just giving them whole food, not to like
Yes.
do the pun of, Whole Foods or anything, but like giving them whole food, that's things that they deserve, and giving them access to it. That's always going to be the vision as long
Yeah.
as we're doing this.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Have you and your family, well, are you a landowner? Do you own land at all?
Don't own land.
Okay.
No.
Have you ever, is that something that you would want to do?
Maybe, right? Maybe. Again, I told you,
Because I
I've
see
never grown.
y'all on some acres, okay?
I've never grown, right?
It's okay.
You have to talk to my wife about that. She's from New Jersey. She love the city.
Oh, she's
She don't
Jersey
look-
girl.
she don't-
Okay.
I be telling her about my lofty dreams of us living on a farm somewhere. And she like, but I like to see my neighbors. I'm like, you missing the whole point, man. We could just be us and just live how we live. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that makes sense for the business, definitely willing to do it. If that makes sense to serve more people or to serve some purpose, absolutely. I'm open. I'm open, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that we keep this thing moving and keep it going. You know what I'm saying? So maybe one day. I didn't write that one, etch that in stone yet,
I'm just
but it's
picturing
been
it for
percolating.
y'all. I'm just picturing it for y'all. I just feel like it's fitting.
Word. No, I can see it too. I can see it.
Brandon, this has been great.
Yes.
I truly enjoy diving more deeply into the People's Market.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate everything that the People's Market stands for. I appreciate the vision that you and your family had, behind this, and it's growing. And the fact that you are literally delivering and feeding to 100+ doors is so gratifying. And, again, I'm very sensitive to our entrepreneurs in any space, but I understand the work that goes into it. And so thank you for supporting. I know you said it's vice versa, like you would not have this business if it weren't for our farmers. And you're absolutely right about that. But just grateful that, that you all are collaborating and building together to feed community. And so that just warms my heart. And so this has been such a dope conversation.
So
I
we
appreciate
done? That's it?
Listen,
I'm just messing
you
with
shoot.
you.
Go
I'm just
ahead.
messing with you.
Got another 30 minutes out of me and
I'm
sister
just
girl going to bed.
No, we don't gotta keep going.
I'm always
I'm just
going-
having a good time.
Oh,
Look.
no, no. This is not
We-
the
we-
last
we
conversation.
rapping. Yeah, no, I love this.
No, there's part 2, part 3. I mean, there's so much that we can talk about for sure.
There's more. And number one, I just appreciate you for having this platform. Until I started this work, I don't think I would understand how important this is. But now that I'm in it and I'm educating myself about the importance of food, and especially as an entrepreneur and understanding how much it takes to run a business and find a customer, right? And be able to feed my folks, it's eye-opening. So I thank you for creating a platform so that people like me and people like Gail and people like Falani and people like Xavier, they can come on and talk about the work that they're doing, and it's fun. You know what I'm saying? And we're
Make it
having a
fun.
good time.
Yes.
And I'm sure people are listening, having a great time. But thank you for the work that you're doing, because it's so necessary. I got to do what I do. So I appreciate you for doing what you do.
Absolutely.
To complete this chain. I look forward to coming on anytime.
Yes. Well, we're not going to leave just yet, because I need you to shout to the world. Leave us with something. One, we've had this dynamic conversation and there's so many levels to it, but I appreciate this taste, right? Like one edible act that anyone listening to this show, can take to, feed their family, really connect more with, their local farmer, or, really dive into nutrition, like anything that you feel like someone can do to take the next step and just act a small thing. What would you leave them with?
2 things, if you don't mind.
You got 2 things. Yes.
Eat local, buy black.
Ooh.
That's it. Eat local, buy black.
When are you making the shirt?
Oh, it's coming. Don't worry, that's coming. Yeah, because like straight up, like the closer we are to the food, the healthier we are, right? Everybody know climate change is a real thing.
Very real.
You know what I'm saying? We in hurricane season right now, and we're all feeling the impacts of the rain and the flooding, and all of that. So eating local is like you're reducing your carbon footprint. Like your food should not be traveling across the country when you have people like Gail and you have people like Nee up at Dodo Farms who, shout out to Nee and Tope because
shout out
they
to
do
Dodo
great
Farms.
work.
Yes.
They're right in your backyard. They're right here. And we're bypassing them and going to a store where we don't even know who those people are who we're purchasing from. We don't know whether they have our best interest at heart. We don't know nothing about them. So the closer you are to your food, the better off you and your children's children will be. And then buying black is like, that's just simple. Like, look, black folks deserve the best.
Absolutely.
And we gonna give the best. Like we just
Absolutely.
need that equal exchange. We'll give you the best, invest in us. You know what I'm saying? Put your money where your mouth is. Like we all spend money. We all spend money. Why not put money into the pockets and coffers of the people who live in your neighborhood, who look like you, who going, if you in a space where it ain't none of us, give you that head nod to dap you up and show you some love. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, why not? Why not? If you got folks who do it, benefit from it. Show them some love. Give that equal exchange. So eat local, buy black. That's how I'm rolling out. That's it.
Eat local, buy black. All right. Oh, and if folks want to find you on social media and if they want to sign up.
Oh, word. So if you want to sign up, our website is thepeoplesmarketdmv.com. That's thepeoplesmarketdmv.com. And then we're really just on Instagram. I just started a TikTok. Both handles are the same. The People's Market DMV, at The People's Market DMV. So check us out. You know, do your due diligence and research us and see what our values are and all of that. And if you like us and if you want to, you know, kick it with us, we will be more than happy to have you.
All right. You heard it from Brandon, the founder of the People's Market. Eat local, buy black. Thank you all so much for tuning in to The Edible Activists. You can find us on Instagram at Food Talks in Color. That's just the letter N. You can also listen to this episode on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all the things. We are there. Thank you all so much. Peace. Thanks for tuning in. You can catch today's episode on iTunes, Spotify, and Simplecast. And be sure to follow us at Food Talks in Color, that's just the letter N, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And did you know we are on Patreon? This is a way for you to take action and support our mission of amplifying BIPOC voices on the Edible Activist podcast. Visit patreon.com/Food Talks in Color to learn more. Peace and blessings. And remember, in the great words of Baba Tariq Adunu, there is no culture without agriculture.